Hey, this is Mira Beck, the founder of Overnight Success Publishing, and I'm here with another episode of Overnight Success TV. Today, I have a pleasure of having in our studio Jim Grant, the pathfinder, the creator of the Future is Now system, and just an overall and a phenomenal guy. So I'm super happy to have you here, Jim. Welcome to the studio, and welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure to be here. I got to shake your hand.
Yes.
We've met many times before, and I've always been impressed with you, and it's a wonderful opportunity for me to be here with you today. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much. And Jim, you are an expert on leadership, and we're going to dive into your story here in a second. But I just want to kind of pre-frame the interview for anyone that's watching, whether you are a solopreneur, an entrepreneur with several employees, a small company, or even a big business. Everyone can use leadership. Like you and I chatted before we started today, and really leadership is something that you use in everyday life. You don't have to be a CEO of giant company to be a leader, right? You can be leader as a parent at home. You can, as a, with a spouse. You're leading yourself. That's got to be like one of the toughest thing, because you need all the the self-driving that is so hard to find. And of course, if you have employees and other people, you have clients. We talked about all of those. So stay tuned, because this interview is definitely going to be useful to everybody. So, Jim, first of all, share your story with us, because I'm really interested in knowing kind of your background. Where did you come from? How did you arrive where you are today? With being the leader and the authority on leadership.
I grew up in Shelby, North Carolina. And my mom and dad had a small farm, and they grew cotton and corn, and I learned how to drive a tractor, and just a simple country life. And after we moved into Shelby, I graduated from Shelby High School in 1967, and I got drafted in the Army in 1968. I got discharged from the draft and spent 3 years active duty. I served a tour of duty in Vietnam, 69 and 70. And after I got out of the military, I took a break in service, but the uniform always kept calling me. And I ended up going back into the reserves and the National Guard. I spent a total of 28 years in that capacity, the part-time capacity. And in doing so, I retired as a Master Sergeant after 31 years. My last 12 years, I was an instructor in the Signal Corps. Okay. Greatest job I ever had, but all the leadership courses I took in personnel management, the career management field course I took to reach the upper levels of a promotion, being a Master Sergeant, they are benefiting me now, and I bring that to the party to help many other people in leadership, obtaining their goals, setting goals, how to reach their goals, how to communicate with people. And also too, I've been an owner of a manufacturing business while I was in the reserves and ran it for over 20 years. So I've got a lot of experience in business and leading people, supervising people, and that sort of thing.
Well, that's really cool. So tell me more about how did you become the authority on leadership? Like you just mentioned, 12 years you were the instructor, basically, right?
Yes.
So was that big part of it? I mean, how did that come all about?
That was really the foundation of it, because being an instructor, I really enjoyed teaching people and helping people along the way. And the way the course came about, The Future is Now, is based on my experience that I went through all the troubles and heartaches and things of this nature on the internet, trying to find, how I can be productive after I, semi-retired. And there's a lot of, I tell people truthfully, I spent thousands of dollars and thousands of hours wasted.
Yeah.
And the main thing I like to do in helping people find their goal, being a pathfinder and being a leader, is to save them the heartaches that I went through, and how expensive that is and how aggravating it is. Because I tell people, after a little while, you get punch drunk. You don't know what to believe or who to listen to.
Yeah, for sure. So there's definitely a lot of different options out there. You mentioned your course. We actually have one of the courses here. So The Future is Now. This course includes kind of the foundation of leadership.
Yes.
Give me just in a nutshell what's included in this course.
Okay, there's basically 6 modules in the course, and we start out with embracing change, and we go all the way through everything down to guarding your mind. This is all about changing your mind, helping you reach the goals that you need to reach in your life, the obstacles you got to overcome, changing your attitude, building upon a positive attitude, and also in the leadership bonus package we put in this box here, this enables you to be a leader because you've got to lead yourself first before you can lead anybody else.
That's a good point. Okay, cool. So I would like to dive into some information from the course. So pick one or two things that you're covering in this course that you could share with people right now, right on this show. So
Okay.
if somebody never heard of leadership, they don't even realize they are a leader, even though they just don't know. Like
Right.
just when I started my business, I didn't know I was in the marketing of my video production business. I thought I was in the video production business.
Yeah.
But quickly I realized that that's not the case. So everyone that's basically in business or like we said in life is a leader.
Right.
So let's just talk about, for someone who doesn't even realize that, give them some pointers of what leadership is all about, first of all, and maybe something that you shared in the course that
Sure.
would help them.
Absolutely, thank you. Leadership has to do with getting people to follow you and believe in the same things you do. Because a lot of people do not know how to be a leader. They think you just tell people what to do and they're going to do it automatically. But sometimes people reject, change. Sometimes people don't believe in the new system or the new idea that's coming down the path, and sometimes they may not like or respect the leader. So that makes it all kind of tough. That's why you have 2 ears and 2 eyes. You listen to people, you watch their body language, and you ask questions. Because a true leader gets people to follow them and believe in the same concept. And most importantly, train to standard. That's critical in leadership. And I use the football team as an example. If the star running back goes down, the number 2 running back already knows where to go. He knows the plays and all that. The coaches don't have to have a powwow with him.
Gotcha. Okay. How would this apply to someone who doesn't have any employees? So how do you lead yourself? Like, is it putting systems in place or having your goals set and kind of know where you're going? Is that how somebody would start?
Absolutely. You got to be a self-starter. That's a prerequisite. You've got to be able to set goals. You've got to be able to keep your mind on the things you want. And when it comes to being a leader, when someone is self-employed or something like that, they don't normally think of themselves as being a leader, but yet you're going to have to lead your clients. They're going to have to believe in you. They got to be able to say, yes, I can trust this person. Who is this person? Can I trust them? Are they worthy? And so leadership, also too, leadership, like I said earlier, 2 ears and 2 eyes, you might be able to help someone in their hour of need as a counselor or just a listening ear. That's part of leadership.
Oh, wow. That's interesting. So there's definitely different ways to think about leadership, not just the big company CEO
Precisely.
leading a whole bunch of people. So so that's awesome. Maybe 1 or 2 tidbits of what anybody can use, like right now. They finished this video, they finished watching it. What can somebody do to either self-analyze maybe how their leadership is, or like what would be the first step to kind of apply what you teach in real life?
The first thing I would recommend people to do is to read a positive mental attitude book. That's the foundation to help you get anywhere is having the right attitude. The book that I've read many times, my personal favorite, is Success Through a Positive Mental Attitude with W. Clement Stone and Napoleon Hill. And that's the first point. And then as they're reading the book, write down notes because your mind's going to trigger ideas to you.
I gotcha. Okay.
And
so that's cool. Any other books that you would recommend that people have on their bookshelves or read more than once?
Well, I like Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, but also too, I'm a big fan of the Proverbs in the Bible because they teach you a lot of basics about life. And I've in my course there, people hear me talk about the LLAR. Everyone wants to be loved, everyone wants to be liked, everyone wants to be appreciated, and everybody wants to be respected. And if we have that mindset as we look at our fellow man we come in contact with, everything else kind of falls into place.
That's really cool. Repeat it one more time for everybody and write this one down.
Yes. Just remember the LLAR system. Everyone wants to be loved. Everyone wants to be liked. Everyone wants to be appreciated. And everyone wants to be respected.
That's awesome. So yeah, thank you for sharing that one. So talk to me about some leaders and some people that you look up to or you learn from the classics. You already mentioned Napoleon Hill.
Yes.
You mentioned Zig Ziglar to me before we started today. Who would you recommend that people learn from and follow?
The biggest inspirations in my life, people that I know who are mentors, people you can look up to. I tell people one person I would love to be able to visit again with is my drill sergeant in basic training.
Oh, wow.
He was a wonderful man, and he was a great leader. He was a soldier. I never once heard him use any foul language. That impressed me.
Wow.
But when he spoke, we listened. He was a man of few words, but he was a great mentor. My dad was a great mentor to me. Everyday people that you can look up to because you can relate to them, you can talk to them, you can communicate with them.
So that's a great point. So really, you don't have to look too far outside of your
Not at
circle.
all.
Like you can literally look at people that you already come in contact every day, and everybody probably has somebody in life that they can look up to. So tell me about your daily routine. How do you stay motivated and self-motivated, really, as we mentioned before, throughout the day? What drives you?
Basically, I'm just a happy kind of a person, and I appreciate every single day in life. And I tell people, I think one of the reasons why I appreciate life so much, and I look so forward to it, because being a Vietnam veteran, let me just humbly say, I appreciate life. I get up in the morning, and what I really like to do is about 4:30, 5 o'clock, I wake up naturally, and I get up when I'm ready, and I put the coffee on, and I enjoy sitting there, enjoying my coffee by myself with the dogs, and start conditioning my mind. What is it I want to do?
That's great.
And it's always great. This is a great habit to get into, is to make mental notes. How many times we go to the grocery store and we forget our list, and then we just almost have brain cramps right there in the aisle. What did I come here for? The one thing you came for is the one you forget.
That's right. Do you actually write stuff down physically,
Yes.
or you just do it mentally?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's great. Okay, so that's your morning routine, and then?
Then I get busy. I do the things on my list. I stay in touch with people. And when I say stay in touch with people, not only business associates, but also family and friends.
Sure. That's great. Yeah, I do. I'm noticing lately I spend a lot of time on Skype talking to my dad and my sisters and
That's
brothers
important.
from the Czech Republic, just because it's like, I don't know what it is, but I feel like it re-energizes me, and it just, it's cool. So, maybe think about some of the people that you haven't been in touch with too often from your family or close friends, and see if there's somebody you can reach out to today and do it. Take action.
Yeah, because when it's the right thing to do, it's the only thing to do, regardless of what the mission is.
Yeah, and we are so busy today too. It's like the information overload and everything that's happening in our lives that, it's really easy to kind of go, I'm meant to talk to somebody or call somebody, and weeks go by and months go by, and then you have your best friend that you haven't talked to for a year. And it's so.
What I tell people too is, too many times we get caught up in the process rather than the content of what life is about.
Yeah. Well, speaking of that, what is your big why? Why do you get up every morning and do what do you do?
Because I know how I felt when I was lied to and spent thousands of dollars and thousands of hours and wasted hopes and dreams. And I thought, since I love instructing and since I have this God-given talent, I really think it's my responsibility to share that information with others.
So you're at the point in your life now that you just want to kind of pay it forward and teach
Yes.
what you've learned and share with the future generations. And
Yeah.
people. That's a really great cause. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. It's very important regardless of what a person's calling is, because I talk about being a pathfinder and helping people find out what it is they want to do. And the main thing is, as we talked earlier, is provide a good quality product and a wonderful service, or a combination too, and just focus on being a blessing to others, and everything else is going to fall into place. You'll be able to pay your bills and sleep good. That is a wonderful lifestyle.
Yeah.
That's
So-
second to none.
Let's expand on that statement, because be blessing to others, or you know, like you mentioned Zig Ziglar saying, if you help enough people to become successful, you will become successful, right? Or the more you give, the more you get. Like there's more
Yes.
more than one way to make the statement, but this is basically a universal law. It's you know, if you give, the more you give, the more value you provide for others,
Yes.
the more you're gonna get back. So you know, your bank account is only a reflection of the value you've provided to other people, right? That you don't
Yes.
lead with the money.
Yeah.
So that's really something that I think that a lot of people don't realize when they get
Yeah.
into business, right?
Yeah, I'd like to broaden on that a little bit, because there's been times in my life when I've been at, sitting in the airport or just being out in public, and someone just has they'll come up to me because they feel like they can talk to me.
Yeah.
Now, the way I look at that, I think that the senior in the sky, as I call him, I believe he takes people that he handpicks and put them in situations so that he can use them to be a blessing to others.
Sure.
Now, what's wild about that? Many times in my life, when I've been I feel like I've been pushing a chain uphill, trying to get something to happen.
Yeah.
And then when I, focus on just helping this person, and I helped a person one time at a gas station, had car trouble, and it took up my time, it took up some money, and at first I didn't want to do it, but I did.
Sure.
And then guess what happened? A door opened to me that I've been trying to, break down, and it just opened.
Yeah.
And so that's a direct result, and that was living proof to me.
Sure.
That when you bless others and focus on them rather than yourself,
Yeah.
you're miles ahead.
For
You
sure.
truly are.
So I would suggest, for whoever is watching this, for you right now on the other side, to look at your business and look at your life and see how much value are you providing. And if you want to grow your business, see how much more value can you provide to your customers. What else can you add to your products or services, and see what you can do in your life. And if there is no like charitable arm to your business, figure out what can you do to give back and help, because this doesn't apply just with clients, and the more value you give a client, the more you get. It applies in charitable stuff.
Yes.
Donations, donating your time, your money, and every time I give, I'm getting back like tenfold. It
Right.
doesn't fail. I mean, it's crazy. So there's almost like, I would say, a challenge. Like, see for the next 30 days, what can you do? How can you give? How can you help others? And kind of back in your mind, monitor kind of what's happening with the universe and how it's aligning and what you're getting back. Like you were mentioning, trying to open a door that you were
Right.
just trying to open, and it wasn't working, and suddenly it did. I had story after story after story when I dropped down donation to Metropolitan Ministries for food drives, whatever.
Right.
I show up back and there's a proposal that I've been chasing down for 3 months, suddenly signed and delivered. It's just like,
Oh, yeah.
and I could write a book about all those stories. So it works for sure.
Oh, yeah.
I know that everybody can sort of get distracted, but if you maybe during your morning routine or when you're planning your day, like make that one of the items, and like
Yes.
kind of do like a focused giving or focused contribution to others. I think that would be
Right.
great. So if you got nothing else out of this interview, I think if you did this would be, I think, worth the price of admission, if you will.
And the joy and the jubilee that it brings you on the inside is something money can never buy.
Yeah, for
And,
sure.
and when you get in the habit of also, I'm going to add this, of making a list in the morning before you start your day, I mean, folks, your mind is going to help you make the list, and you're going to make a list of things not only for yourself, but to serve others and ideas. And when that hits your list, do it.
Yeah.
I mean, just Like my dad just say, son, it's time to get up and do it, you know?
Okay. And I have to, another thing like I want to share with you and everyone is maybe you naturally get up this early.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it's a struggle. So I like to call myself the morning person just because I know when I actually get out of bed early, like my goal would be 5 o'clock. And it happens sometimes it doesn't. So I know that when I get up at 5, by noon, I feel like I accomplished everything and more. It's like the most productive day. If I stay in bed till 7 or 8 and then crawl out and get ready, sometimes by 5 p.m. I still feel sluggish and I feel like I haven't done anything that day.
Oh, yeah.
So, what I'm doing it to trick myself, I take my phone and put it on the other side of the bedroom or in the bathroom even, where I have to actually make few steps to get to it, and that wakes me up and gets me going, and then I'm okay. It's just the snoozing, if you have the thing next to your bed. That's my one. So I'm sure I'm not the only one. I bet that a lot of people are, can relate to this one. But try to figure out, how to add the extra hour or two to your day by getting up a little bit sooner. And I know people that get up at 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, like you were saying. And those are like the most productive people that I know. So there's got to be something to it,
Yeah, the key to it is your body's got to have rest. And so it's like I had have young soldiers that come in late for class and they say, well, we overslept. I said, no, you didn't oversleep. Yeah, I did. I said, no. I said, the problem was you didn't get in bed early enough last night. So adjust your schedule where you get enough rest. And think about it, like I do. When I wake up and I'm rested, I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
And that's when you can start, you're going to feel good, your mind's going to be productive, as opposed to alarm waking you up and you're brushing your teeth with one hand and trying to shave with the other,
Yeah, for sure. And I think, if you think about it, if you want to get up at 5, you get in bed by 10, you have 7 hours of sleep. That's all you
correct.
need. Sometimes 6, right? So it's really not an impossible task. It's not like you have to go to bed at 7 o'clock in the evening, to get out. Like you don't need 12 hours of sleep. So
yeah, that's true.
so that's a great point. So adjust your schedule in the evening accordingly. And then another thing would be, sometimes when you have something super important, you need to catch a plane in the morning, whatever, you wake up on your own.
Yeah.
Like 1 minute before the alarm goes off, like your mind is ready for it. I wonder if you really set your intentions, the last thing you're doing before going to bed is to say, whatever I'm doing tomorrow is important. Even if it's not a plane, if it's just, helping others, or going after your mission, whatever it is, but make that like a specific enough thing that your mind will just wake you up, just like it does when you.
It becomes a habit, and your subconscious mind, takes over.
Yeah,
that's what happens to me, because if I get in bed by 10, I'm awake before 10:30, 4:30. That's just the way my body is geared.
Yeah.
But if you have to go to bed at 9 o'clock to get up to 5 or whatever, that's fine. Just adjust your.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Well, we always say on the show, wake up and be successful. So this would be probably perfect for that. Just go.
Absolutely.
Go to sleep early and then wake up and be successful, right? So Jim, last question I have for you for today. On this Overnight Success TV show.
Yes.
I always ask people about their definition of success. Not the general definition, what do you think, but for you personally, what does success mean to you?
Success to me, it simply means a good, healthy lifestyle and having family and friends that love you and like you. But most importantly, success has to be with how you feel about yourself on the inside and the joy and the jubilee that you receive from being a blessing to others. That's when you're successful. Has nothing to do with money. Has everything to do with being a good servant. And that OLLAR, everybody wants to be loved, everybody wants to be liked, everybody wants to be appreciated, and everybody wants to be respected. And I don't even know how I came up with that, to be honest with you. It just kind of like clicked in my mind.
Yeah.
And
makes a lot of sense, though. I think that you're totally right about all that. So before we totally wrap up, if somebody wants to get involved, get either more information on leadership, I know you have some ebooks, some giveaway stuff, or even your course. How can people get in touch with you? What is the best place to send them from here?
Just go to www.contactjg.com. Contactjg.com, and we'll send you free information. And most importantly, we will provide any information that you need, answer your questions, because we want you to know who I am, why should you even trust me before I ask for one thin dime for any of my courses? Is that fair enough?
That's perfect. Awesome. So contactjg.com. Jim, thank you so much. It was
Hey,
a
thank
pleasure
you.
chatting with you.
My
It's
pleasure, brother.
honored knowing you. Thank you for your service
Well, thank you.
with all the military stuff. I know your son is also in the military.
Yes.
So hopefully, I think he's got what, few more years, few more months. How close is he
He's-
from retiring?
Well, he's past 20 years now, so me and him
nice.
right now, we got 51 years, and he's carrying the torch and it's continuing to count.
Nice. And then when he's done, he's gonna be with
He's
you in the
gonna be with me.
business.
Oh,
That's
yes,
awesome.
yes.
All right. Well, thank you so much. And for you, thank you for spending the time with us. Hopefully, you learned something. And as I always say, the difference between success and failure is implementation. So just take one thing you learned today and do something with it. And I promise you, over time, you will achieve your definition of success. So till next time, wake up and be successful.